Taffy Todd's Adventure, A True Story by Samuel Doggerel. Coffee Break Collection 29, Dogs. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Taffy Todd's Adventure. There is a little dog whose name is Taffy Todd, who has the same wise look as many a dog you've met, and is a well-bred house dog pet, but quaintly called in rhyme a hound, to please the poet's ear for sound. Round as a mole he's fat and fair, and robed in coat of whitest hair. His soft brown eyes are bright and clear, his little ears are quick to hear. He has a kind expressive face, with every feature full of grace. In disposition meek and mild, he's gentle as a little child, but has his own peculiar way, as all who hear will surely say. He is to people so polite, you'd think he'd never bark or bite, but strangers climbing up the hill will shout in vain, "You hound, be still!" And traveller late in midnight dark is sure to hear Tuff's loudest bark, while tramps who come about the yard must flee or face a valiant guard. Although he has a host of friends, to them he rarely condescends, and their caresses kindly made are with indifference coldly paid. He lives for master or in Todd, and worships him as household god. With him Tuff wildly romps and plays, and from his side but seldom strays. At times when Orin goes away, to tarry but a single day, he bids his Taffy stay behind, and try to have a peaceful mind. But Tuff, so sad and desolate, lies down alone to meditate, or seeks the porch a sunny place to watch for Todd's returning face, or wait until the voice so dear shall fall like music on his ear. Unmoved by other sight or sound, he lies as if in thought profound. Call him, he seems both deaf and dumb, unless you say, "Ho, Orin's come!" When quick like one from sleep he springs, and flies as swift as bird on wings, to meet his master and his friend. Then Taffy's morning has an end. His ways eccentric may appear, but in the sequel they'll be clear. Now little Tuff, it may seem strange, had lived at home nor thought of change. But one calm morning, clear and bright, as if new visions filled his sight, to Griffin's Corners begged a ride, in Orin's wagon by his side. Good Master Todd could not deny the pleading of poor Taffy's eye, and said, "Jump in and take a seat, and you shall have a royal treat, for though we go by mountain road, and do not want a heavy load, our sprightly horses, strong and true, will never mind a mite like you." Then Tuff leaped in and sat erect, as if to show his intellect, when off they rode with hearts of glee, and warmer friends you rarely see. Now Orin thought it would be nice to give his Taffy some advice. "Be careful, Taffy mine," said he, "we go where many dangers be. Turn not aside nor leave my track, till setting sun shall warn us back. In town you will a stranger be. Again I say, go not from me." To which the simple dog replied, "Oh, never will I leave thy side, but follow where thy footsteps lead, thou dearest friend in time of need. Our Tuff can talk, like dogs of old, of whom in fable Aesop told." Then Todd, to pass away the time, thus entertained his guest in rhyme. "I've always made you stay at home, and never let you widely roam, because I feared you might be lost, and by the world be rudely tossed. Or lest in some unlucky way you might be hurt, as one that day, that doleful, direful day, when life and death seemed balanced in the strife. You then were but a little pup, and with a snail could scarce keep up, but seeing Flora's gentle pace, you thought with her you'd run a race. And as she moved along the road, and pulled with care her heavy load, you chanced to fall beneath the wheel, which crushed your leg and made you reel. O dreadful sight! O fearful cry! A mangled limb, no surgeon nigh. I stanched the blood which freely flowed, and in my arms, a tiny load, I bore you safely to our door, then said, "You shall go out no more until your leg is fully healed, or death shall take you from the field." I set and bandaged well your limb. Should surgeon doubt, I'd challenge him, and laid you on an easy bed, and saw that you were kindly fed. I closely watched you night and day, and did not fail for you to pray. When you had reached the 3rd long week, thank God, with reverence do I speak, 'twas plain you needed nothing more than just to walk about the floor. At length, when people thought you dead, you left your room and little bed. "He's tough," they said, "as hickory rod," and called you Tough, then Tuffy Todd. And thus you see it strangely came, you have a soft and pretty name. Now, since to perfect health restored, to thank me well you can afford. Tough answered, "Do you doubt, dear friend, that I shall thank you to the end? Since I was struck by will so rude, have I not shown you gratitude? Have I not always been to you obedient, faithful, good, and true? Through evil and through good report, I've never failed in my support. Forsaking friends, let none deny, for you I've lived, for you I'll die. What care I for the world around, when all my joy in you is found? Please pardon if too bold I seem, and hold me firm in your esteem. I did not mean to grieve your heart, good Duff, nor cause a single smart, but just to have a little play, I thought I'd see what you would say in answer to my sober talk, while slow the horses onward walk. Conversing thus as friend with friend, at last they reach their journey's end. Todd's heart with anxious fears beset, foreboding peril to his pet. He turns to Taffy. "You've been warned, in language clear and unadorned, to stay by me and to beware of dangers lurking everywhere, although no profit born or bred, though on my mind no light is shed. I fear from knowledge of your race, the day will end in your disgrace." Out jumped brave Tough and Farmer Todd, but scarce had gone a single rod, before they heard, "Bow wow, friend Tough, for that's your name, I'm sure enough. How glad I am to see your face, and give to you a friend's embrace. Now, while in town, stay thou with me, and boon companions we will be." Then Tough, poor innocent abroad, who never dreamed of any fraud, replied, "Perhaps we've met before. I'll take your word and ask no more. It would not seem polite, I know, should I refuse with you to go." Away they marched as large as life, their hearts with hope and pleasure rife, and wandered in their heedless play through many a dark and devious way. Unchecked they raced and chased around a lawless cur and recreant hound. They took no note of time, nor cared how far they strayed, nor how they fared, for Tough could not foresee his woes till darkness did around him close. O Taffy, born and reared in ease, with bread enough to eat and cheese, where now thy master's tender care, where now the bed thou erst didst share? Thy new-made friend all false will be in time of thy adversity. Upon the cold, cold ground to-night no sleep shall come ere morning light, nor morsel sweet for hungry maw, nor peace for nature's broken law. The westering sun had low declined, when homeward with an easy mind good Orin turned his horse's feet, expecting there his dog to meet. But drawing near, no Tough was found to greet him with accustomed sound. Poor Orin could not sleep a wink, but lay awake all night to think how sad the fate of Tough might be, who late was in prosperity. Back in the early morning bright, to Griffin's Orin took his flight, but thoughts of Taff so filled his mind, no other thought a place could find. And as he passed to each neighbour's door, 'twas little known the load he bore. The dogs ran out and barked so bold, they wakened echoes in the wold, while ducks and geese joined in the strife, and quacked and screamed for their dear life. Then proudly crowed vain Chanticleer, I am, you see, without a peer. Let none within my realm intrude, to scare my hens and little brood. But patient kine in farmyard penned were mute with meek-eyed wonderment, while grazing sheep on hillside near heard all and said, We need not fear. Each mother called her own dear lamb, who answered back, Oh, here I am. The squirrel with his nimble feet how quickly found a safe retreat, and from the wall or limb on high peeped slyly out as Todd went by. The birds from out the leafy trees, so gently swayed by morning breeze, poured forth their notes in merry lay, and sang good speed and happy day. And insect world on joyous wing in sunlight clear did sweetly sing, or hum in myriad tones so gay, we cheer the traveller on his way. But ferns and flowers in wayside beds with meek surprise did lift their heads, and whisper low, Our friend's in haste, and has no time on us to waste. In days gone by he'd stop a while to praise our charms and make us smile, or take us in his gentle hands, as if rare gifts from foreign lands. And thus each loving, living thing had kindly thought or word to bring, which proved a balm to soothe Todd's soul as he moved onward to his goal. The livelong day, through street and lane, he sought his dog, but sought in vain. From house to house he asked each man, Where's Taff? Pray tell me if you can. Why, Taff has gone with Bruno Brown, a dog, they said, of poor renown. It was enough to turn one's brain to always hear this sad refrain. Retracing now in twilight drear his weary steps, Todd dropped a tear, and took with heavy heart the way his feet had pressed at opening day, and walked in doubt and gloom along, where late he sang his cheerful song, where frisked his faithful dog with glee, and kept him joyful company. Poor Taff, a wanderer forlorn, now loud bewailed that he was born. For though in darkness and in grief there came no friend to his relief, but being born he did not care just then to die. With reason rare he searched along the dusty ground to see where footprints could be found, when he with keen instinctive nose discerned the course of Orwin's toes. Then light and hope began to rise and cheer the darkness of his skies, while slow he kept the lonely road which led him safe to his abode. Scarce 12 had struck the kitchen clock, when lo! was heard a scratch or knock. Oh, said his wife, oh, Orwin dear, the lost is found, our Taff is here. Then up sprang Orwin with a bound, and welcomed home his truant hound, whose downcast eye and trembling frame betrayed a sense of guilt and shame. But Todd, in sweet forgiving mood, spread Taff a couch and gave him food, and bade him now find rest in sleep, and thus forget his sorrows deep. Then Taff in silence ate his meal, but made by looks this sad appeal, O friend in sorrow and in cheer, there is none on earth as you so dear. For all the trouble I have brought, I am not worthy of your thought, and would receive a just return, should you my presence coldly spurn, or from me turn with angry frown, and let me in despair sink down. I will not plead in self-defence, nor try to prove my innocence, but truth requires that I should say how I was duped and led astray by a cunning dog, who boldly claimed he'd seen my home ere I was named, had heard of Tuffy Todd before, when passing by our cottage door. He led me captive at his will, and made me suffer direst ill, which was no more than I deserved, who from the path of duty swerved. I have my sins and woes confessed, and ask forgiveness, peace, and rest. O grant the mercy which I crave, or I shall find an early grave. To such petition, all unused, with faltering words and eyes suffused, kind Orin made his brief reply. The same true friends are you and I, as we have ever been before. We will be now and evermore. And since you mourn the first offence, with deep and humble penitence, I grant forgiveness full and free, and trust no lapse again to see. To banish care and doubt and fear, and waken hope and faith and cheer, good Orin, with a tact supreme, from great to small then changed his theme. My dog, quoth he, with morning sun, I'll see what can for you be done. There comes just now this happy thought, for you a collar shall be bought, that if perchance you go astray, you will be known, though far away. On it must be inscribed your name, and Latin words to give you fame. Nil desperandum they shall be, and from despair may you be free. What more did pass between these friends, the curtain now around descends. Their mutual joys, their mutual woes, the poet's pen may not disclose. To dog and master both so true, long life and peace and our adieu. Now turning from the gay or sad, this moral we will simply add. Ye maidens fair and comely youth, accept the words of love and truth. Not all is gold with golden gleam, not all are friends who friendly seem. The tried, the trusted, and the true, these are the friends we name for you. End of Taffy Todd's adventure.